Okay, now it should work. Hello, hello, once again. So, it's RomanticDeveloper. As you could probably notice in my... here, it's just here. Probably I need to redo my border. I did it very quickly during our last stream. Yeah, during our last stream. And I'd show you how to do that very quickly in Adobe Express. In free version, I just registered the account. I mean, not just, some time ago, but I used that account without any subscription, without anything. I just log into Adobe Express and it's allow you to do multiple things. Like I did that initial video here, I added music, I added some text, titles, so everything from some templates in Adobe Express Pro, and as well I create that border. Maybe it's not like not so nice, but okay, at least it's something. I need to redo it, and I have some ideas, but yeah, I need to spend some time. The main problems of our world, of our universe right now, of our all humans, especially those humans who have time to, I mean, not have time, who can watch streams like that, it's a time. It's time, it's not always enough, and we are in hurry just to try to jump on the train again, and again, you know. And it's feeling, especially the more we into what is current world is, I mean, what artificial intelligence, even if it's not true artificial intelligence, but what we call artificial intelligence, what it could produce for us in forms of that all models, neural networks, language predictions model, large language model, etc., etc. We understand that it's so powerful. We are so uh, all the projects, all the tools, they're created with speed of light, and we always feel like we are slightly behind of the things. So that's why probably we also used to talk about some most recent news in AI on the streams. And today I couldn't do very large stream because I have a family celebration of some event. There are some family holidays today. So I'm doing really short, maybe about 20-30 minutes. So if you have any questions, please ask. And so far, I'm going to my main stream and I'm just going here. It's my command prompt to do previous stream processing. I just executed something like my tool process the stream. Yeah, I believe that is. Python main py full process update YouTube and link of my previous stream, and it shows the progress. By the way, previous stream was more than an hour and we started at 23:52 when I executed that prompt, and it took about 23 like 12:05, so it took about, so it's 52 to 10:05, so it took 13 minutes to download, or like 12, not 13, 12 minutes to download the stream video. It was a long part. Then it used to transform it to OGG file, just audio part, which is not too long, but also take maybe a minute. Then it sent it for whisper transcriptions, which took again quite long time, maybe a few minutes. And then it's improved transcription. It's divided transcription in splits and send it. So it took another time. Yeah, here on that screen, probably RomanticDeveloper not so cool. Not I mean that border not so cool. So let me just remove background for now here, and we'll see about something else. Probably we can do somewhere on top, on bottom, but maybe not covering the main thing. And you see all that request, then is send request. In that case, I set up that it do request to Azure OpenAI, and it did multiple requests to get title, keywords, summaries, etc., etc. And all those process took about Actually, it took very fast for first 4 prompts, and for some reason for keywords prompt, it took another 4 minutes. It shouldn't take so long. Normally, it's the fastest time. It's just 20 seconds, and I did everything and update YouTube. In that time, it did slightly longer. So let's call the stream. Stream is nice, but it's execute some command prompts editor somewhere else. So I'm just put it here. So it start, everything it start, actually it's part of our free project. I'm just reminding it and reminding, probably I need to write some videos. So if we go, okay, it's our email. Email, okay. It's our Google Colab and Google Docs, Whisper and Git, okay, where we have everything. So it's part of our YouTube AI Helper GitHub project at RomanticDev/YouTube AI Helper, and it has some documentation. So if you go here, it has several folders and some README file about different implementation details, and we're using right now mostly Python script, and it's allow us do multiple things. It's just short summary of what it can do. And it's live chatbot is one of those things. And actually, it's not just live chatbot, it's live agent, AI agent, which can not only respond in the chat to something, it's not only do some audio rendering of your comments so I wouldn't skip them, but also it can use some tools and took some decisions. Like, for example, if he need to answer the chat or not, what tools he should use. And for tools, it can look for previous streams, for multiple previous streams, for last stream, for this stream, real-time transcript, or even probably use some news engines to get generic news or get AI news. And yeah, normally it's not, yeah, first time it can take some time because it's get list of the news and then etc. But yeah, it's all the possibilities. And there are documentation how to use all of the tools here. So if you find it helpful, you can try to improve if you want. It's under MIT license, so everyone is welcome. Okay, so we started our live transcript. Live transcript is very simple. We just use local whisper, some base model, and it would be totally fine, as you see, for our needs, because I'm speaking in one language, in English. I'm trying to speak in one language, even it's not my first or second. It's my probably second, second foreign language. So, but yeah, it's recognized me perfectly, and it's recording into some transcript file, and our live chatbot can access the transcript file as well. So yeah, that part is over. What is that? Okay, so let's probably switch back to my stream. So what we will do today, just short summary. Yesterday we tried to use operator, ChatGPT operator, a new feature, and we I provided task to log into my Google Drive, create some file, and put some information into file, do some analysis, go to the sites, search for some bright ideas for current, which could work currently for AI agents, like startups, and try to evaluate the requirements to do that startup, how much it will cost to implement in software, in work, in hardware, and when it could bring back some real money, so some value, and what are the competitors, what should we do to fight with that competitors, and so on, so on. It did, while it was able to create, so maybe let's switch back. While it was able to create the document here, as you see in, yeah, so it was able to go and create that AI agent research January 24th, because it happened yesterday. It identified three areas like chatbot for customer support. It identified area gameplay and agents, and it identified the area of autonomous robots. Then when I start to do some not refactoring, but even text formatting, it did very bad. I mean, I said just because it inserted text into that double asterisk text, and normally it's returned markdown format, but it's just doc format. So I say, hey, replace text between asterisks and without it, and make it bold. And it tried to do that, and yeah, that model, that tool, not very good in that. Yeah, I know it could normally fill multiple forms and everything, but text editing, yeah, it's really not his strongest side, of course. So yeah, so we ask multiple questions, but actually because it's guided not by most reasoning models, not by O1 or O1 Pro or O1 Mini, not DeepSeek. DeepSeek? Oh, come on. Is it DeepSeek or what? Let's see. Yeah, it's DeepSeek, not a DeepSeek model. So not reasoning, not by reasoning model. Of course, it provided very unrealistic numbers. So, for example, for autonomous robots, of course, it identifies some of the cool competitors like Tesla, Google, etc. And it says that it has high potential, of course. And for business plan, it says that it would initially cost about $50,000 to develop a robot. $50,000. Okay. Of course, depending on the level of autonomy, sensor actuators needed. But see, it's not interesting just to create some hand which will just hello and that's it. Of course, if you talk about robot, it will be vision, it will be speech. It would be very good devices to manipulate the things. Also, it would be legs or some other mechanisms which allow it to move itself. Of course, charging should last, and so on, so on, so on. It's a pretty complex task. Of course, not in $50,000 budget. Infrastructure cost, it says like $1,000. Time profitability about 12 months for $50,000. Yeah, maybe, I'm looking into it, and I understand that maybe, of course, it will find some competitors like Boston Dynamics, like KUKA, like ABB Robots, iRobot, Fetch Robot, SoftBank Robot, etc., etc. It says what we need to implement to make it reliable to strategy so we could win. And of course, it's not something like new. It's advanced AI capabilities, integration, user-friendly interface, continuous improvement, and so on, which is true for every startup project. So it's not something new. But that weak response actually guide me to see if we can build something more interesting, if we will work with some reasoning models. Yes, so I'll leave that task maybe for future, not for long future, maybe for a week. I'm waiting for O3 to come out from ChatGPT, because everyone say it would be very cool, very nice model. And yeah, I'm just waiting for that and see if it could provide a really good reasoning. And of course, we will compare it with DeepSeek, with O1, O1 Pro, O3 Mini, and DeepSeek for that task. Right now, I think my next project would be, which will not start today, but most probably I surely will start it tomorrow, because I really need it. So the project would be, and again, maybe something like that exists already, but yeah, it's something we can work on. of course. So the project will be right now I'm working at my main job, and as well I'm doing my separate project, which you probably know about, bringing what we've discussed here before, my open source project about YouTube AI helper, which I used a lot in my streams. I'm using those projects to transfer it to just cloud, so it would not execute locally. You see, it's all time it says local, because it's require your machine to be executed. It's not always require your compute power to be executed. It just orchestrates things, but it orchestrates things on your local machine. You execute it, and you need wait until the end if you want to see some results. I just want to bring it to cloud, and while I'm bringing it, I added some new features. I'm of course I'm adding some DB structure, etc. Some not agents, some microservices which can run in the background and do all the job, and some storage, etc. And my project slightly growing, and now you saw my how I doing something. Yes, when I need to ask ChatGPT to help me with something, I created a very simple program, a Python program. We just hello, can we go back to that, please? And maybe we do something like that. Okay, so it's my local YouTube AI helper, and which mostly are in GitHub without the last change about real-time about live chatbot with ability to read our messages loud. So, and I have that prepare for LLM query. And what we have here, we have, it describes the script, but basically when we execute it, we go through all our files in our folder, and we just collect files, and we then combine all the content into one file and write it into combined files for LLM. So, and when we thinking about which file we don't want, we just exclude some directories, like where we receive some static, where we hold in some static files, of course virtual environment, PyCache, etc., Git folders, and we'll pick up only Py or MD file right now when we gather all the files. So as a result, we have that combined files, and as you see right now, it's just 4,000 of lines. 4,000 of lines is acceptable length for like models like O1. I could say, hi, I have a code for my project. So, and I insert all the 4,000 lines in the thing. I could ask anything with that. I could ask O1 just create new function, new functionality. Of course, it's not doing everything right, but it will understand what everything I have, etc., and it could guide me how to create it better. So in that particular case, I could say something like, can you review my code and identify methods or utility methods which are not useful, not used, or I can simplify code and remove them. Please do a deep analysis and don't remove needed files or functions. Please provide your response in like, please rank your response in order from completely not used to something which can be easily replaced. or simplified. So it's just an example. Of course, I did some mistakes here, but um, it's just an example of the prompt which I can insert here, and it will understand me because it has all the information about the project, and not only information about the code, but also here I could put some. Okay, it's not in that project. I created several MD files in other project which describe all the project, or what is my need, what are my dream about that project, and so on and so on. Some structure, some ideas, what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep. So you see. So right now, if I click enter, it will understand that and it will start working on that. But the problem is that my other projects already grow that limit, when you can ask something and insert mostly all of your code. It's working fine for smaller project, but once your project start to grow, of course you don't need to include everything. But at the same time, or one, or like even DeepSeek, everything has that limit. It's a limit for input, and it's not so easy to overcome it. Of course, some models like Cloudy from Anthropic, of course, they have much bigger limits. They have ability to connect files and so on, and they have a context window about, I believe, maybe million or several million tokens. But we're talking about normal models which could have only 128 thousand of tokens, kilobyte cake tokens, 128 multiplied to 1024.
What I have missed in this stream.
Oh, hi Ladla. I think bot could answer your question, but I just added functionality that chatbot could announce some comments after moderation. So I already did it. So now it shouldn't I shouldn't miss any comment when you ask me, because sometimes I'm so in the code or so in telling something that I can skip something. So first of all, what you missed that today I wouldn't do a long stream because I have some celebration in my family, so I'll leave soon. But starting from tomorrow, I'm going to create some code, some new project which help me to work on other project, and I'm just describing why I need to do that, because my code base is grow, and even if it's in that project, in the current YouTube like AI helper project, it's still under 4,000 lines total. Other my projects, they are much larger, and for those projects I even created a program which just will take very specific files, will pick up them, and it will not pick up even all the content of the files, but try to limit it. And anyway, my context is growing, my total length of the all files is growing so fast and so much that I couldn't send that to reasoning models. They have limit to take that limit. So, and because they have limit, I couldn't work with them easily, and I need to do a lot of manual work gathering which files I need to send. Especially it's important when you just start the chat and you need to provide all the information to the model, so it could be helpful before you ask some questions about some errors or some refactoring, etc. And yeah, the thing is just to gather proper files, build a proper prompt for LLM. So, and starting tomorrow, I will work on that project when I could create on every file, maybe once we can create some database of all files with their list of functions in those files, maybe with overall summary of those files, why they're using in program, if they're part of any flow. And once if it sees that the last save time of the file is different from what it has, it will do that analysis again and again. And when we need to create some request. For example, if I need a request to solve some issue, it will understand that issue. Maybe it will look stack trace, etc., and try to gather only proper files, proper fragments, just to not be very overwhelming in size, because yeah, it would be a big challenge. So I'm just will write a helper for developer just to gather required files to build proper context for reasoning model. And of course it also will use LLM to do that, but I probably will use some cheaper LLM, or even maybe local LLM, or for sure cheaper LLM like GPT-4 mini, for example, if I need to select, just to gather all the context, and then I can send that context to much more professional models like O1 Pro, or hopefully O3 Mini. soon we are waiting for that, which can do that task. So it will start tomorrow. We'll start thinking about how to better implement that, and so yeah, of course it should be interesting. So completely unused files. Let's see. Format news for prompt in discussion starters. Okay, maybe we could do very few changes in our files, so, and we prepare them to commit. So we have discussion starters, and it says that we have in discussion starters some functions which called format news for prompt at the very end. Let's try to see not any reference by Visual Studio. Any reference? Yeah, looks like it couldn't find any reference, so we probably could just go and remove it. Okay, is message for streamer in live chat bot defined but not actually invoked? You should respond to message as the main filter. Is message for streamer is never called. Okay, it was my initial intent. So let's find it. Is message for streamer. It was my intent to ask if the message is for streamer or not. Context length, maybe maybe 30. No, let's actually use it. Let's actually use it. I understand that in my current implementation I'm not using it, but it's nice to use it. So whenever we have the message come in, we try to do censor, and then we try to just do text to speech. What if we say if self is message for streamer, and what we have, censor, outer name, outer channel ID, okay. Chatbot received a message for streamer censor it, and then we only announce it. And how we define it? Content equals to yes. And it would be what? Determine the following message is addressed to the streamer, and respond with yes or no. Let's ask something. What are your future plans? Maybe it identifies that I'm a streamer, hopefully no, but let's see if it can do that. So it's our... Okay, it received.
What are your future plans?
What are your future plans? Okay, so it's decided chatbots end in chunk. Okay, 2 chunks. Before chunks, message filter response for comment from user romantic okay. It means okay, it should not skip it. And then it's get another completion. Oh, we haven't restarted our chatbot. I understand. So we're trying to test something which is not yet executed, correct? Because right now we're executing our latest. So let's just execute it once again. Python live chatbot, and we just provide it. So what we do automatically before, let's execute it once again. And what are your future plans? Let's ask it once again. The cool things about that bot that it will not lost all the streamer context because it's reading it from that file, and even if we restart the bot, it have all the previous messages and all that content with him. What are your future plans? Chatbot received a message.
What are your future plans?
Yes, so it received a message for streamer, and it's even provided some response. Yeah, you see response under chatbot. It seems the host is discussing their future plan, particularly focusing on their streaming and chatbot improvements. They mentioned the ability to maintain context even after restart the chat. Do you have specific question about their plans? Yeah, I will not ask it, but normally, yeah, I'm not excited that the chatbot having some past messages. Let's see. Is message for streamer, it's fine. But when it try to should respond, okay, handle message. And in handle message, when we have, yeah, it took a system message. It took message filter, no, chatbot response. So your primary goal to answer question concisely, your answer exceed, you plain text, you can be emojis, etc., etc. Okay, it's fine. But also when we build that, here we have recent transcript chars. Here's the last one about character of the live stream, recent transcript, and fetch recent transcript. Okay, it's system content 1, system content 2, and then conversation history. And in conversation history, we just get the latest message here. So interesting. Should we include the most recent chat before in conversation history itself? Because right now, every time I actually update system message, the second system message with the recent transcript. Okay, need to think, because I don't like it, didn't catch what I'm planning to do in its response. It's very simple task. Okay, so is message for streamer now is used. Standard text in live chatbot defined in live chatbot pike, also the OpenAI moderating point, not called anywhere in outside. Likely a placeholder for future message moderation logic. Censor text, really? Let's just see censor text. And let's find all reference. Interesting. And what we are using here in our live chatbot, run bot loop, etc., and we client censor text. Oh, I see. We move that method into client, which of course makes sense. So we could remove it from here. Yeah, it's why we need those bots. It could identify very nicely. And in our client, when we have that censor text, yeah, it's basically the same code, but okay. What's next? Split SRT file in transcriber. You actually improve flow call split by tokens. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. Transcriber. split SRT file. Yeah. Now okay, it's saved. It's saved. And what is format duration in utilities py? Utilities basically we could leave, but let's see how it working actually. It's utilities, setup login, is YouTube, and we format duration, hours, 1,000 minutes. Okay, maybe we could remove. We can always rebuild it. Use it, but potentially simplifiable. These function classes do have reference, so you cannot outright remove them. However, you could streamline or refactor them if you wish. Chunk response at most split into chunks in live chatbot. Simple custom function, but it could easily do a Pythonic slice and dice in fewer lines. It used, so not removable, but it can be okay. Chunking logic in transcriber, main models. If you have a well-structured command dispatch pattern, you could reduce some boilerplate if you don't actually need certain subcommands, or if you prefer to unify improve SRT and transcribe steps into one, but that is more an architectural choice than a hard requirement. Livestream helper, strictly a script that find and active streams. You start to separate command line windows. If you don't need this multi-window approach, or if you prefer to do it in all one Python session, you could remove. No, we use it. Concurrency. You have thread role executor for parallel prompt processing. You could switch to a single loop. If concurrency isn't essential, if you might find concurrency useful. Okay, we like concurrency. Summary, definitely removable, okay. Likely, but could be simplified, okay. So yeah, thank you. At least we did something good. So how we could do after that? As you said, I'm having that code which could be executed like Python. Let's try once again Python prepare for LLM query, and it writes everything here. We just copy everything from here once again. 4,200 lines. Can you check if I missed anything to remove? Okay, I did some mistake, but let's updated code below. It would be the last question. And yeah. Okay, ChatGPT 01. It shouldn't think too long, too much. Removal, Z, commenting and commenting out sensor text. Identify unused elements. Below final pass, your updated code, highlight anything that is still unused. I never actually invoked, plus a couple of small redundant imports. Everything else appears referenced. Transcriber py, split SRT file, where defined in transcriber but never used in your flow. Really? Let's look at our transcriber. And we don't have any more split. Oh, maybe we didn't preserve it. Where? Sensor text, live chat bot. Yeah, it's identified that. But really, am I not preserving it? Oh, it's Control S. It looks like we don't need to save it, correct? file, save. Okay. Downloader from config import config. If you have in the top, but the downloader class is never referenced config itself. If you do accept config arrangements arguments in constructor and store it, so you're not using the global config. Save to remove from config import config. Downloader. Okay. So we just execute the same command once again. We just go here, copy everything and say, can you do another run on updated code below? And it starts thinking already, and it's thinking about that. So let's see now. Hopefully it shouldn't find any issues with the code, but let's try. So as a result, you saw that the code, which is just go through all the files in directory, it use method os walk, and it's find all the directories and all the files, and if files are ended properly, and it's not that exact file path, not prepared for LLM, we just add it into the collected files. And when we combining them, we go through the all collected files, we open the file for it, and we just start adding something like in markdown format, start of the file like that, then we add file content, and then we add end of the file like that. So with that, we properly identify our file, we include the file content into that 3 small asterisks, not asterisks, quotes, I don't know how to call it properly. And then we preserve on Pro and DeepSeek as well, because as far as I know, so if we say upload,
What are your future plans?
Upload docs or images. So it supports some docs actually. Why it asked me about what is my future plans? I shouldn't receive that. I don't see a message like that. So it's happening just now. Yes. Loading message. Loading configuration. Error fetching live chat messages. In violation of protocol. So it went into the error state. Another interesting task itself. So in our live chatbot, in our run boot logic, while we do try, we hit some exception. We raise that exception. And because we do while true on the next load, we again try to read chat messages from the fetch live chat messages. But the thing is that we preserved next page token before. So normally we shouldn't read the same message again, even if previous one was ended with some error. So yeah, interesting. It get issue while it try to execute chat messages, fetch live chat messages, and it come here, error. No, not here. It says error, but it says a base exception occurred. So yeah, probably we could look into that later. So yeah, now everything ready, everyone ready in the family. So I will go for my event, but here, as we can see, you see, even after that, it says that ensure directory exists. It's also never used, and every other module. The rest of the classes, methods, imports all appear to be actively referenced somewhere, with the single exception of ensure directory and existing tools. Everything else is referenced and needed, and it's not methods, it's not used, it's just import, unused import. Remove unused import, everything else is in use. So we did a successful refactoring of our code right today. So let's transition back to our main screen, sorry. And I believe that as always, I'm wishing you a very great and nice day. I'm wishing you to, I just want to say, you know, I don't know if you believe in, if you're a believer in something, but I once heard a very nice phrase, and it sounds like, when God invented time, let's say he invented the time enough. So it's always enough time for you and for everything you're doing, and you just need to accept it, agree with that, and use it wisely and wisdomly. So I hope that everyone who listens that stream, and not only those, will would understand that it's enough time for everything. And that wish is for me as well, because it's always not enough time for me. Hopefully I will follow that old wisdom. So hopefully, as you all, let's meet again. I do my stream every day, starting 10 p.m. sometimes, later. So see you guys. Have a nice day. Goodbye. And how to stop that thing?